Well, instead of sermon scraps this week, I wanted to take some time to kind of walk you guys through what we'll be doing, what Micah and I have worked to replace over the past number of years that we have been here, and then what this sound system upgrade will allow us to do moving forward. So Micah's going to explain kind of what we do on Sundays, what we use, and then what the pieces that this will be replacing.
So on a Sunday morning, to get everything to work, we start on the platform. We have everything on stage mic'd up. So it's grabbing signal from whatever the instruments. The drums, for example, have a number of microphones that catch everything. Some of that's for the room, some of that's for the live stream. All of those cables get plugged into this device either on this side of the stage, there's another one on the other side of the stage. What these devices have done is they have replaced all of the old cabling in these. So we used to have these built-in stage boxes, where all of those were plugged in. That cabling was starting to go bad, so we had to replace all that. So we ran new cable from the booth to the stage and bypassed all the old cabling and installed new stuff. So that's this box, that box, and all of that connects back to the sound booth. So once all the signal is processed, it has to get to the sound booth. So we ran all of the cabling from the stage to the booth, and that goes into this, which is our soundboard. So everything, this kind of serves as the hub for everything. Everything comes into this and then goes out of this. This was replaced in 2021, about the time that I started. That was replaced because the old soundboard that we had couldn't keep up with modern technology. So some of the other changes that were being implemented, we had to change the board. So this was changed. But this soundboard is just about at capacity for our space. So while it's not necessary that it's replaced, a new soundboard is potentially the scope of what this project will include if we get above and beyond the critical pieces we need to replace. And if that were to happen, then this board would move to the fellowship hall, and the board that's in the fellowship hall would move to the youth room, so that all of our sound system across our building are the same. All right, so we got signal from the stage to the booth, and then the booth needs to come back to the amp room. This is getting into the weeds a little bit, but speakers on their own don't have enough power to actually produce the sound that you hear on a Sunday morning. So all of our speakers have to be connected to amplifiers, and that's what this is. This is all of our amplifiers for the speakers in our auditorium.
And atrium.
And atrium. We have replaced the cabling from the booth to this room as well. So the soundboard that you saw connects to these, and then the amps, these connect up to the speakers. We've replaced the cabling between the soundboard and the amps, but we cannot replace the cabling between the amps and the speakers. And one of the reasons that we're talking about making this switch and why we need to update our system is cables degrade over time and just with use. So when we replace those cables between the booth in the room here, signal quality increased and improved, so it just revealed to us that our system is pretty antiquated and needs to be replaced at some point, and it's just going to get worse and worse until it's replaced. So we have replaced basically every major component of our sound system except for the amps, which are designed to go with specific speakers because they need a certain wattage to power them. So we wouldn't replace these unless we replace the speakers, and vice versa. When we replace the speakers, we need to replace the amps. So that's the scope of what this project is aimed at. Primarily, it's looking at replacing the speakers and the amplifiers. And if we get above and beyond, we'd look at replacing the soundboard as well, so that we're not at capacity for what our room can do.
So as I shared on Sunday, that is the entire scope of the project, is replacing primary amps and speakers behind me. This will allow us to bring a lot more consistent sound quality and level from all across our room. These speakers have served us well for 20 years, and our hope and prayer is that by replacing them now, it serves us well for another 20 to 30 years to come. The scope of the project is $100,000. We have $75,000 raised so far, so we're just doing a really short window to raise the extra $25,000 to get us over that necessary funds. So if you would like to contribute to that, or you have any other further questions about it, feel free to reach out to either me or Micah, and then before I go on sabbatical, I'll announce where we're at with that project and what the anticipated completion date is. Thank you for your generous giving, and we look forward to seeing how God continues providing through you.